You ready for some more polemical stuff? Here's why shamans can't heal white people. Meow, meow. This cat is like, yo, I don't care about shamans. I don't care about white people. I want food. But anyway, hold on. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. But anyway, this is why shamans can't heal white people. And that's hilarious that white people. What I'm trying to say is, this is why shamans can't heal non-tribal people. Because non-tribal people are basically living in a continuous traumatic way. So even if you release a lot of traumas with the shaman, guess what? You're re-traumatized every single day because you live in a society where you don't know anybody, you don't trust anybody, you don't love anybody. You might hopefully love some people, your family, maybe. Maybe. Probably don't even love yourself. And shamans are not trained for this. They don't understand this. They come from societies where people love each other, they trust each other, and they're happy together. And small societies can do this. Large societies can't do this. Because you don't know anybody. You don't know your neighbors. Don't know who the president is. Don't know anything. And it's funny because we think tribal people don't know anything. Which is in some ways true. They don't know nearly as much as we know because they don't read stuff, they don't think about stuff and all that. But what they do know, in some respects, is more important than all the stuff that we know. They know how to be happy, how to live happily, how to live naturally. And we're addicted to all of our knowledge and all of our luxury, blah, 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 all of our habits, and we're addicted to our addictions. And we're addicted to our solitude. We're addicted to our privacy. And there's no such thing as privacy in tribal society. None. You want to be depressed? Impossible. Impossible, because if you even look depressed, someone's going to come over to you and say, hey, what's wrong? How are you feeling? So, I'm not saying that tribal society is like the end all be all. There's definitely problems with tribal society, right? Because you have to go with whatever the group says, right? So child sacrifice, maybe? Okay, well, that's what the group says. In Africa, they kill twins because they think twins are evil. And so I'm trying to understand, like, how can people live in a smart way using their critical thinking capacity, but also in a tribal way that's very healthy. And so, this is the thinking behind the intentional community movement. And it's been a very difficult movement, difficult to try to make ways for people to live happily together. But I believe that one of the reasons that people are unable to live together happily is a lack of telepathy. lack of telepathy. That sounds funny, but it's true. I don't know if you've ever experienced telepathy, but usually, like when you love someone a lot, you become telepathic with them in some regard. Like you'll know when they're calling even before the phone rings, or mothers often know when their children are in a crisis before the phone rings or anything like that. And this is like a minor kind of telepathy, but much more major telepathy is possible if practiced and with meditation together and with ayahuasca together and the holy water, the ozonated activated charcoal water. It's also very good for that. To kind of restore some kind of EMF protection, I find. But yeah, so it is really funny to me that that shamans are kind of acting like they have some kind of answers with their songs. They believe their songs are healing to people. They're Icaros. And I'm not saying songs are not healing. Songs would be healing, but, understand the context in which they are trained. They're trained to heal members of their own tribe who, for whatever reason, are suffering and it's a lot easier to heal somebody in your own loving circle with a song than it is to heal somebody that you don't know, who is paying you money, who will maybe never see you again, who won't remember that song, who will continually be traumatized by their living conditions. So anyway, if you would like to help me to reimagine human society, you're welcome to do so. I am planning to begin doing so very shortly in Brazil, and we can make friends with tribal people in the area. Acre, Brazil is near the rainforest, or right, it will be, I think, right on the border of the rainforest. So far, the people who have expressed interest in this project with me have been the people who are the most screwed up in some ways. The most, because they're the most they have nothing to lose, right? They have nothing to lose from getting away from this society and trying something new. So that's not exactly the way that you start a intentional community, according to the experts. But this is 2024, yo. This is what we're working with now. So heck, if we can take the most broken people and turn them into the masters. Now, there was actually an intentional community that did this called Raymar, and they were very successful. Christian community. They would take drug addicts, and they would get them off of drugs with just 24-hour companionship and love. That's it. And, Jesus loves you, whatever, praying. And people got off all drugs super easy, and then they would get married, and then they would lead the community. So all their leaders of the community were former drug addicts. Now, I'm actually having trouble finding information about Raymar for some reason on the internet. I don't know, it's like they somehow are not part of the internet, or I don't know what happened to them, but my dad visited them decades ago, and he was always preaching about this group. One interesting thing about Raymar, too, is they used to do STD testing for these people when they would join the community. For obvious reasons, right? Drug addicts tend to have a lot of STDs. Dirty needles and whatever. And they stopped doing drug testing at some point. I'm sorry, they stopped doing STD testing at some point. And what they found was that after they stopped testing, specifically stopped testing for HIV, nobody in their community was dying from AIDS after that. Isn't that interesting? Isn't that interesting? Whereas before that, a lot of people were dying from AIDS. Might never matter. Of course, if a doctor says, oh, you have this in a terminal disease, of course, you're going to think about that, like, oh, I have this terminal disease, I need medications, and blah, blah, blah. Meanwhile, we all have viruses, parasites, and everything, like, all the time, actually, like, thousands of them all the time, and we're just not even aware of it. And, there's not a test for every one of these thousands of things that we have. And, so, anyway. So, if Raymar could do it with just love and, well, Jesus was critical, how can I do it without a religion per se? Like, my religion is peace and love. I mean, I'm a Buddhist, but I don't necessarily feel that I could be, like, proselytizing, like, trying to get people to believe in, like, Jesus or Buddha or whatever. I mean, certainly I would teach people about Buddhism. But, it's not my job to get people to, like, be part of a religion, I guess. I don't know. So, maybe I won't be successful. Because I have not learned that trick. But I do know that everybody pretty much knows about religion at this point, and it's like, if you by now you haven't chosen to join a religion, then you're probably on your own path, which can be a good thing, can be a bad thing, but I don't know. Everything is very complicated and interesting. But anyway. There you go.